N6AF, K6LJL. I'm sorry, K6LGL. Is there anybody else looking to check in for the early?
Whiskey 4, Hotel Charlie X-Ray.
W4HCX, I've got you on the list. Anybody else?
Whiskey Alpha 6, Juliet Kilowatt November.
JKN, WA6, I think, isn't it? All right, I've got you down on the list, JKN. Anybody else?
Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec, W60Q and
Kilo Foxtrot 6, Quebec, November, Golf.
Wow, a little miniature pileup there. One at a time if you can spread it out.
Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec.
Kilo Foxtrot 6, Quebec, November, Golf.
Well done. Well spread out. Okay. Dennis and Lisa, I've got you on the list. Anybody else? Yes, I did. Anybody else looking to check in?
Skip's out there.
Yep, we all hear Skip. Anybody else? Okay, let me look at my list here. Not sure where NY6L fits in. Well, we'll revise the list as we go on. I've got N6AF, K6LGL. Let me modify my list here. NY6L, W4HCX. Let's take a little miniature go round here. Up to you, Chuck. N6AF, and then following the news here. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Good evening, Max. Thanks for running the show at the earlies, and hello to everybody that's here thus far. November 6 Alpha Fox in Emerald Hills up above Redwood City. I'm running about 350 out on the 1963 KWM2. Just got back from Barbara's Fish Trap restaurant in Half Moon Bay with my wife and had just a wonderful mixed tempura. I don't know how they do it, but I sure couldn't repeat that at home, but just delicious. And I'm on a brand new antenna. It's two inverted V's off the same Ballon, full size 80-75 and 40 meter inverted V. So pretty cool. 2-to-1 endpoints at 3.5 to 3.9, so very broad band. Wouldn't you know it? A simple antenna with no loading coils sure gives you some nice bandwidth. So I'll pass it to you there in Santa Monica. He wasn't hearing me earlier, so you might have to relay K6LGL from N6AF. NY6L
Okay, here in Hesperia. Well, it was, of course, hot and dry up here, and got up to about 105 over here, and 20% relative humidity here, and I hear rumors get some monsoonal moisture Sunday and Monday, but we'll see. That's going to rise here. Well, hopefully this station is getting out. I'm on the Holland West line here, so putting out all the things I can out of here. So, with that said, over to W4HCX. Let's pick it up. NY6L Hesperia.
Yeah, NY6L in the group, W4HCX. Well, I don't have too much to report. The temperature out here today was 109. Of course, the air shack is air conditioned, so no worries that way. Running about 800 or 900 watts tonight. Finally got around to putting my 80-meter antenna back up. Did that this morning before it got hot or warm. And I don't know who I'm supposed to give it to, so I'll just send it back to you, Max. KJ6 Hotel November, W4HCX.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, send it back to me. I'm establishing the rotation here as we go along. All right. Really good signals so far. NY6L, every once in a while when I drive down to Southern California, I hear you on N6BKL's 6-meter net, or 6-meter system, I should say. So when we come back to you in another go-round, maybe you can comment on that. When I drive down to Southern California, I almost always have my 6-meter mobile rig with me. It's an Alinco DR06T. All right, so with that, I've got the list pretty well established. Anybody else looking to check in, give me a call, KJ6HN.
KJ6HN, W6MBM, William 6, Mike, Victor Mike.
W6RBJ, Whiskey 6, Romeo Bravo Juliet.
Okay, Romeo Bravo Juliet, what was the prefix?
Whiskey 6.
All right, I penciled you in on the list. Great. Anybody else looking to check in?
William 6, Mike, Victor Mike.
I got you, Mike. No problem. Okay, so let's go to the next level, WA6JKN, and then pass it to W6DQ, and then KF6QNG, and then W6MVM, and we'll extend it out and go over to W6RBJ, and then back to me. KJ6HN.
Well, thank you very much, Max. I'm hearing everybody so far, even Skip down there. Hello to you, Skip. Dennis, Lisa, Mike, everybody. Well, made it back to good old Gilroy. Yeah, they say drive a little, save a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, I saved a lot going the other direction. I'll never forget. I thought the machine was broken. I was filling up gas in the Traverse, and it was like $35.67 or something like that, 68 cents, and it was topped off. And I know I was near empty, and I looked down at the cost, and it was close to $2 a gallon. I couldn't believe it. So here I was driving back to California. Took a couple of days. As soon as I filled up in California, there it was, almost $100. And that wasn't even on empty. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing when you in the other states like Arizona and beyond, but they got their gas prices all figured out. That was a big takeaway from my trip. Other than that, I had a great time with the grandchildren. We were out on the lake. It was a fabulous time by all. Hit all the hometown restaurants in and around Tyler and Lindale even went to Miranda Lambert's restaurant that she is in part ownership with the music hall. Man, oh man, do they put on a good spread there. Well, anyway, let's keep it moving. Over to you, Dennis. You got a good signal tonight. You and Lisa are nice and strong. Very strong. Good sounding audio as always. W6DQ in the group, WA6JKN.
All right, Kevin, WA6JKN, W6DQ. And good evening, everybody, from Inyo Kern, where it's, currently 104 right now. No, I'm sorry, I revised that. It's still 107 right now. I was thinking it was lower than that. It's 107 right now, but we only hit 109, so Foster's got us beat. Good evening to you, Foster. It's been a while. Anywho, warm day today, no wind tonight. Beautiful day. We had the wonderful experience of having Southern California Edison doing a planned outage today for maintenance this morning. It was supposed to last only 2 hours, but lasted 4 hours instead. So I chilled the house and the ham shack down to a lower temperature because I knew they were going to heat up pretty quick. And I'm glad I did that because the house, that extra 2 hours really took the temperature up without the air conditioning. So anyway, that's what's been going on here today. Send it over to Lisa at KO6QNG, W6DQ.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. And thank you, Max, for taking the earlies and running the show this evening. So, yeah, it's just been out here and a lot going on, busy work, crazy stuff. So with that, I believe it goes over to Mike. So W6MVM from KF6QNG.
KF6QMG, W6MVM. Thanks, Lisa. And we're here at the ranch on the S-line tonight. The old S-line, the 75S1, 32S1, trying to get the S3 line back on. Also, I've got a 75A4 and a Ranger up here, trying to get the chirp out of it so I can use it on CW. So working on that project too. Really love to run CW. Ran my CW net last night on 7.053 at 8:30. Anybody wants to join us, slow CW, fast CW, whatever you want, but we'll match whatever you come up with. And we have quite a few newbies coming on that net, so it takes a little patience, but it's kind of fun. 7.053 Thursday nights at 8:30 in the evening. Anyway, enough said there, and glad to be on here. We had Dungeness crab tonight. Somebody was talking about their food. We had Dungeness crab, and Brienne makes a wonderful coleslaw using peanut oil and a few ingredients and some olive oil. Just Thai, very tasty. So that was our great meal for tonight. And on California gas, yes, it's expensive, but I remember in 1959 all of the days that we lost at school because the smog was so thick in Los Angeles you couldn't stand to be in the classroom. And I don't care what they charge. I just don't want that kind of thing to return to LA or any place else in California. So California gas, yes, and pollution, no. That's my feeling. Anyway, let me pass it on to W6 RBJ, W6MVM.
Okay, fine business, Mike. W6MVM and the group, W6RBJ. Up in Fortuna, in the middle of the Redwoods, where it is currently 70 degrees, 70. We've been cheated out of a nice warm summer so far up here. On the KWM2 and 3001 tonight. And just kind of enjoying some great signal strength here. So I see that we have hit 7 o'clock, so I'm going to shoot it on back to Max because he probably wants to start the net. So, KJ6HN and the group, W6RBJ.
Alrighty then, thanks. That was a really good QSO, and we're just about right on time. So I will start the round table. Start the net. This is KJ6HN, Kilo Juliet 6 Hotel November. My name is Max, and my location is in Darwin, California, a teeny tiny ghost town. I will be your net control station this evening. Welcome to the regular Friday evening West Coast edition of the Collins Collectors Association Collins Net. We meet here every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 0200 UTC Saturday, to exchange information on Collins radio related topics. We welcome questions and comments on the restoration and operation of Collins amateur, military, and commercial gear. Those check-ins who are in for the numbers are always welcome. You don't have to be running Collins equipment to join us. Anyone with an interest in Collins radio is welcome to check in. The purpose of the CCA net is to promote the preservation, restoration, and use of Collins radio, amateur radio equipment, and to preserve the history and lore of Collins radio. In addition, we provide a technical and historical information archive for Collins radio information. The CCA is licensed by Rockwell Collins to use images, logos, manuals, and printed materials. For more information about the Collins Collectors Association, its forums, activities, services, and how to become a member, please visit our website at www.collinsradio.org. That's Collins Radio, all one word, .org. Please help our efforts by joining the Collins Collectors Association. Before we begin the net, are there any announcements? Are there any other check-ins? Please call KJ6HN. Well, we've got a cozy group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 people so far, but I'll pause as we go through the list and check for other people who might want to join. So it goes up to the top, N6AF, and then send it over to K6LGL, and then over to W4HCX Foster, and then over to NY6L, and then NY6L send it back to me. So there we go for the first part. KJ6HN in the group.
All right, very good. Thanks, Max. And this is November 6 Alpha Fox in Redwood City, running about 350 watts with a solid-state homebrew amp, but driven by the conforming 1963 KWM2, of course. So I don't think I mentioned our temperature. I think right now in Redwood City it is roughly 83, but we enjoyed most of the afternoon over in Half Moon Bay where it was at least 10 degrees cooler than that. So beautiful. And I had mentioned that I'm using a brand new two-band inverted V, two full-size inverted Vs, and apex at about 35 feet. And just for grins, when I put this up a couple of days ago, I got on 40-meter CW, and Max, you might know this gentleman, WA6ARA, out of Ridgecrest. So I had a neat CW contact on 40 meters with Mike, and he was at his cabin that is about 40 miles northwest of Ridgecrest in Kennedy Meadow, and he and his wife hightailed it up there to get out of that Ridgecrest heat. So that's my story, and I'll pass it on to Skip, K6LGL to take it, in 6AF.
I'm on my Nano KDM. Plus a small amplifier there, 572s there. So I'm not pushing any real power. Okay. By the way, want to compliment Mike, W6MVM. Tampa 15 over non-signal here at the Santa Monica, really pouring in there, but then these are the peculiar conditions. On the other hand, Ron, who normally is stronger here, probably will get better as it gets darker, but so it goes. You know, it's summer working conditions, so there we are. Not too much else to report, so we'll keep it short and pass it over to NY6L to Jay there. Sounding good on your Collins line there, Jay. Over to you, K6 Little Green Light.
Alright, thank you, Skip. K6LGL, South America. Alright, yeah, Max, to answer your question there, yes, I am on the Barstow repeater that has Dan and CKL's call sign on it, and I get into it very well from a area, so that's how I get into the 6-meter system there, and it's a real hoot, you know, covers a lot of square miles, and the equipment I use I have two commercial K1TK 630-2s, correction, -3. They're on the high split, and about 110 watts there on the TA, so there you go. Alright, otherwise, just been taking care of some shopping and looking at my temperature out. My temperature's dropping up 3, but still quite nice here in the shack with the air conditioner running, and Dennis also there. DQ, yeah, power outages. Well, I have my solar generator, my Palladium, and for a backup I have the Predator 2000 from Harbor Freight. So if power goes out, for a backup I have my swamp cooler that's in the bedroom, and it'll cool the whole house down. I could run that off 120 volts with generator and keep the refrigerator going too. So understand about keeping the UTH chill it off before they cut the power off. Understood about that. All right, well, moving right along over to W4HCX to pick it up NY6L experience.
Yeah, okay, real fine. NY6L in the group, W4HCX. Well, good evening back to you, Dennis. And Max, thanks very much for taking the net tonight. You always do a good job. Unfortunately, I don't hit here every week. And Dennis, rep your comment, I was having a house painted and I took the 80-meter inverted V down, and I was off. I did put it up this morning just to get back on the net tonight. And during that last go around, I got tapped on the shoulder. XYL says, my supper is getting cold. So with that, I'll say 7-3. All around, let's see, and I'm supposed to send it back to Max. So Max, cross me off the list, KJ6HN and the group, W4HCX. 7-3, though.
Okay, Foster, you're checked off the list. Go have dinner. Have a good time with your wife. Let's see, some comments here. NY6L. Yeah, the N6BKL system is really great. There's the northernmost link is near Lone Pine. That's how I'm supposed to say it, according to Dan. Not supposed to give away its location. There's some kind of a conflict going on. But anyway, normally I can talk all the way down the link through what is it? Ridgecrest and Ritter Ridge, the new location of another repeater that Dan set up. And it used to be also not Robert's Roost, what was it? A place just east of Malibu, and then all the way down into LA, and Dan's got other repeaters going, and it's really a great system when it works. But it seems like lately that the load time machine has been off. I've tried to give my call, and I don't hear any talk back on the system, so I don't know what's going on. I need to get in touch with him. So that's it for that. And over to, let's see, looking at the list here, over to Kevin, WA6JKN. Wait a minute, let me take a pause and see if anybody else wants to check in. This is KJ6HN, give me a call.
November 6th, Lima Alpha Whiskey. Just wanted to check in as a guest.
Is that November 6th, Lima Alpha Whiskey?
Larry asked, it's November 6th, Lima Alpha Whiskey. Larry, did you hear him?
Roger. I just was checking my radio too. I have a problem on 40 meters, but how am I coming in on 80 meters? Over.
KJ6HN, I can copy you.
Okay, what's your QTH?
Darwin, California.
Okay, thanks for giving me the radio report. This is November 6th, Lima Alpha Whiskey. I don't have an old rig like Mike does, but I'm working on a A2 FT991. Thanks for picking up my call, and I'm sorry to interrupt. This is N6LIW, Larry at Plain Art.
Okay, Larry, thanks for checking in. You're on the list. So far, you're at the end of the list. Okay, over now to WA6JKN, Kevin, in the garlic capital of the world, and then over to W6DQ, followed by KF6QNG, and then W6MPM, and then Mike, pass it back to me, and I'll check for anybody else looking to check in, and we'll take it from there. So WA6JKN, up to you, KJ6HN in the group.
Well, thank you very much, Max. This is WA6JKN, Kevin and Gilroy. As Max said, the garlic capital of the world. Yeah, one of these days that garlic festival will come back. But right now it's still on hold due to the prohibitive cost of insurance. So in the meantime, everybody's got to go over to Fresno. I understand they have a garlic festival over there, so there you go. You love garlic? Go to Fresno. But wear a life preserver, or what do they call them, bulletproof vest. That's what Jeff told me that lives over there. Yeah, you better have one of those. Excuse me. Starting to lose my voice here. Well, I wanted to ask Jay, is there any updates on Ken? Anybody find him? CJA? I haven't been listening to all the nets here in the past couple of weeks, not all of them. And wonder if anybody found them or knows what happened to him. I did talk to, who was it? Wayne. Yeah, that's who it was. I was talking to Wayne here a few weeks ago, and he said he had recently talked to Ken, and Ken sold all of his ham radio equipment, and that's about all I remember. Yeah, he was, I guess, getting out of it. I don't know if he's moving or what, but if you have any updates, I want to know if he's okay. He's been a long time member of the AM community for years. So I appreciate any information on that. And let's see, what else? Oh, the price of gas. No, I was just making reference to, I couldn't believe how cheap it was. And one of the other things I noticed, too, about the gas is I was driving back and forth between Tyler, East Texas, and south of Dallas, down there to the lake. And I could swear I'm getting better gas mileage with their fuel. I don't know why, but it just seemed that way because, well, maybe it just seemed like it was a long way to go, because I know it was at least 150 to 200 miles round trip. And I had more than half a tank. So that doesn't seem normal to me. It seems like I should have been at half a tank or below. And I grew up down in Southern California back in the 50s, 60s, and I remember what you're talking about there. They were talking about smog and all that stuff, Mike. But I got to tell you, when I came back into California, the first thing that Diane said is, look at all that smog. And I'm not sure what area that is, but as we were coming in from the Arizona border, from Blythe to, I think it was the San Bernardino County, there was a lot of, I don't know if it was just haze, smog, or what caused it, but you couldn't see the mountains. They were right there in front of you. Couldn't see it. So I got to thinking about that, and your comment about gas, I don't know if there is there can't be a relationship between the amount of fuel someone uses. I think there's, 20 to 30 million people driving cars in California, something like that. And but the one thing we got going for us is technology. I'm real big on technology. All the scrubbers on the output of these engines make the air pretty clean. But I remember Gavin Newsom was real concerned recently, talking about he actually had an emergency situation because of the fires from not only in California but up from Canada, causing a very unhealthy condition for the air quality. So I guess we're going to have to put catalytic converters on our homes or something if we're going to breathe clean air. But I do have an air purifier, and I've had that for a number of years. It's an almost necessity now. So that works out real well. All right. Let's see. I did buy a transmitter when I was in Lindale, Texas. It's a very low-frequency transmitter. Transmits on about 250, I think it's 256 kilocycles. And I fired it up today. And boy, oh boy, it works great. It puts out a great AM signal on a very low frequency. And what it is, it's a 1930 transmitter. It was manufactured in, what was the name of that company? I can't remember right now, but I had to repair it. That was fun. No schematic, no manual, nothing on the internet for this thing. But it had tubes that I could look up the pin numbers and what was the grid, which was the plates, and so on and so forth. And from that, I was able to, troubleshoot through the circuitry and see where the signal was missing, and that worked out real well. And I put it on the air, and used my ICOM as the receiver. And boy, it was fabulous. The audio sounded really good. So that was my project for today, is to get that. I bought it in an antique store of all places, on Main Street there in Lindale, Texas. I couldn't believe they had it, and so I bought it. All right, over to you, Dennis. And this is going to be my last. I don't know if you're going around again, Max, but this is my last. I got to get going. I got some yard work I need to take care of before the sun goes down and sets. W6DQ, over to you, sir. WE6JKN.
All right, Kevin, very good. Thank you. WA6JKN in the Collins Net W6DQ here. And where we're hearing most everybody. Ron is kind of weak here, but that's become kind of normal lately, so I don't know what's going on there. Usually he's real loud here, but everybody else is doing great. We are running the KWM 380 tonight with the Alpha 87A, and tonight I'm using the inverted V instead of the horizontal loop. I'm just doing a comparison between the two to see what goes on. I may switch back over to the other one and see if there's a difference. The loop tends to be quieter on receive, but I don't know. And we seem to have a noise source that's closer to that antenna, so it tends to get a little noisier. Well, let's see what's going on here. Well, I spent the last week kind of sick again. I got over COVID about a month ago, and then got sick again. Not rebound because it wasn't COVID. Don't know what it was, but headache and fever, which was just delightful, and finally went away. Finally, the fever stayed put, gone, so I feel much better from that. And this Edison and their scheduled outages. And the last one we had a couple of weeks ago, they couldn't make up their mind when it was going to take place. They had a 2-hour window that started out at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they changed it to 5, and then they changed it to 4, and it ended up being actually about an hour. It started late. They didn't start at 4 when it was supposed to. They started a little later and finished up before. I recall they finished before 6, which they were supposed to do. Well, they started at 5, and that's right. The first one they were going to do was from 4 to 6, and then they changed it to 8 to 10, and then they changed it back to 5 to 6 or 5 to 7, something like that. And it was okay. It was out for a little while, and of course, yeah. When the power's out, we don't have water, so nobody was taking showers or anything. That's one of the joys. Our pressure tank and booster pump are on a different circuit. They're not on our house, so they can't be fed by a generator from here. So they'd have to have their own source. Unfortunately, I think what we're going to do is I would like to relocate it closer to the house. The pressure tank should be next to the house anyway, as far as I'm concerned. We've got about 120 feet of water line from the pressure tank to the house. I'd like to reduce that to as low as possible. I get a little bit more pressure out of that. A little bit of resistance in that water line. Anyway, what else? Not much else going on. Like I say, trying to stay cool. Anyway, Chuck, you mentioned Mike. Yeah, we know Mike very well. He and Paula, his wife, were just here a couple of weeks ago, and they have a cabin up there in Kennedy Meadows, which we've visited. Check that out. It's a nice little place up there. I love that area up there. It's really nice. It's about 20 to 25 degrees cooler than it is down here, and obviously he was QRP. That's what he does. So that's cool that you talked to him. Yeah, we've known Mike for a while, since we've been here in the Ridgecrest is right next door to Inyokern, so that'll give you an idea. We're just within a couple of miles of each other. So anyway, that's it, Max. Hey, thanks for taking the net tonight. Appreciate it. Got a nice signal down here. And I'm going to send it over to Lisa at KF6QNG in the Collins Net W6DQ.
Thank you, Dennis, and good evening to one and all. Yeah, it's been a very hectic week. So Monday with the power outage, and had to go into work late because I couldn't take a shower to get ready, wash my hair. We keep water around for drinking and being able to flush occasionally, but not enough to do a shower. So, and then Dennis got sick on Tuesday, so it's just been a very crazy week. See, last weekend I went down south to visit family and friends. Had a good time down there visiting, and wasn't too hot yet. Thank goodness it's not like it's going to be this weekend. It's going to be very hot down there. So my sister doesn't have air conditioning, so it's pretty warm. And of course, yes, the humidity there is crazy. But again, Max, thanks for running the helm and taking care of everything. And let's see, I send it back over to Mike, W6MBM from KF6QNG.
KF6QNG, W6MBM. Thanks, Lisa. It's really good to hear you. I hope I'm hearing everybody. I didn't want to insult anybody about my comments. I just lived in LA in that time. My original call was from Texas, Kingsville, KN6UHU. K5UHU, excuse me, K5UHU. I got my general there, and went on to Hawaii in 59. So anyway, that's when I was in LA, between Kingsville and Hawaii. It was miserable. The smog was so bad. Smog's still bad in LA, but there's 3 or 4 times more people there than there were when I was there in the 60s. And yet the air is better. Not great, you're right, and that basin just collects it up and makes it miserable, but it's better than it was. It's certainly far better than it was when I was living there in 59 and 60 time frame. Anyway, I lived right on the beach there near Newport at Playa del Rey. That was what it was, Playa del Rey, and right on the beach, and it was great. And then to leave there and move to Honolulu, what better could you ask for? That was great times. Anyway, thanks for the comments there on California gasoline. I'm sure you could probably get better mileage on gasoline in Texas because it's all gasoline and not so much alcohol like we have here to keep pollution down. Anyway, I'm sure it's a little better on the mileage. Anyway, enough said on that subject. It's been great to hear everybody. Thanks, Skip, for the great report. I'm glad you're hearing me so well tonight. We're on the 5932S1, 6070S1, 75S1, and a Vietnam War beat-up 301. On an 80-meter, 160-meter, 205-foot G5 RV about 60 feet up in the air here at the ranch, and that's and a D104 microphone, a lollipop. So that's what we're doing for this station here. So good to hear everybody, and good to hear what they're doing. And let me turn it back over to you there, Max, KJ6HN, W6MBM.
Okay, Mike, good transmission, and good signals from almost everybody. Let's see, looking at my notes here. Well, WA6JKN checked out, but just in case he's listening, the LA smog, and I remember growing up in Palo Alto, so this is kind of for Kevin and anybody else who's listening. I remember in about 1968, our family took a trip from Palo Alto down to Los Angeles to go to Disneyland, and the smog was amazing. I remember taking a ride on the Matterhorn roller coaster, and I couldn't see anything when we were up at the top. It was just all covered in this kind of like haze, brownish gray haze, and that's just the way it was. We've made a lot of progress since then, and that's good. But that's how it was back then. And then, let's see, water with no electricity. Oh yeah, W60Q, water with no electricity. Yeah, that's, I know you're on a well, you're on a community well, I think, from what you've told me. And yeah, with no electricity, no pump. So you're out of water, no showers, no tap water, and so on. We in Darwin are pretty lucky. We have a spring about 7 miles south-southeast of town that flows by gravity all the way into town. So we don't need any electricity to run that system. And we've been doing a lot of work on the system. I'm the treatment plant operator, certified by the state, blah, blah, blah. It's a work in progress, but we're getting there. So that's what's happening right now. And then, let's see, W6MVM, you mentioned something about LA Basin. I didn't take good notes. Oh, your old call sign was K5UXU. Okay, got that down. All right, we're coming around to the end of the list. Anybody else looking to check in, please give me a call, KJ6HN.
WA6 Juliet Bravo Delta.
WA6JBD, I've got you on the list. Thank you. Anybody else? Well, nothing heard. We've got a cozy group here tonight. All right, let's take the caboose of the list here. W6RBJ in Fortuna, and then N6LAW, and then finally WA6JBD, and then back to me, and I'll pull the curtains. So W6RBJ, it's up to you, KJ6HN and the group.
KJ6HN and the group, W6RBJ, thank you, Max. The signals are all doing okay. There's some up and some down. As usual, Mike there is blasting in here about 15 over S9, so he takes the cake for tonight. I do have one question for all you engineers out there, just to see if you've ever seen this, and then I'll pass it on. But the other night, well, actually it was last Sunday, I was tuning up to check into the 20-meter CCA net on Sunday afternoon here, and as I was peaking my 3001 on 20 meters, I heard some buzzing that was really kind of strange. Turns out it was a GFCI breaker on one of my branch circuits, not connected to any of my radio equipment, that was trying to blow, although nothing was on it, but it couldn't because one of the grounded plugs in there was blocking the release pop-out button from releasing. And it burned the GFCI out, so I'll have to replace it. I'm wondering, is that some kind of an RF effect on these breakers? I have never seen that happen, and this thing's been in my shack ever since I put it together here 10, 15 years ago. So I'd be very curious to know if any of you have seen that before, RF, as it were, getting into a GFI circuit and messing it up. That was only on 20 meters, by the way, and it was my 3001 on 20, which I'm using right now, and I did not get any bad reports that day, so don't know what's going on. So there's a good question for you. In the meantime, I'll pass it on, and hope that maybe somebody has some wisdom for me. So Larry, N6LAW, and the group, W6RBJ, over to you.
Thank you. I had a little rough copy hearing from you, but I got that's your check-in, so thank you for letting me check into the Collins net. I've heard Mike talk about it before. W6MVM, he's got some good gear. I'm working on some newer stuff right now. I happen to be just testing the band, and I have a Yaesu FT991A, which I send in for repair for this problem. On 40 meters, it goes into high SWR. Sometimes you can tune it, sometimes you can't, but when you go into high SWR, the power output obviously shuts down. And so I sent it in to Yaesu, and they tested it and tested it and tested it, and they've never found anything wrong. So I got it back, and I've been kind of hesitant to fire it up. And sure enough, tonight I went on to 40 meters, and it's doing the same thing. So I've tried it with a dummy load. I've tried it with different antenna feeds. Still have the same problem. It's intermittent, mind you. It doesn't always happen. So I guess I'm going to get on the horn to Yaesu, and they'll talk me through some troubleshooting I can do myself. But anyway,
thanks for letting me participate. I know about the LA smog. Anybody that's in LA during the 60s remembers the orange sun. So, yeah, it's come a long way. There's a lot more people there now. We would be death would be covered us over if we had that much bad smog and stuff that was in the air that was putting out all these carbons and whatever you got in the air that's making it hard to breathe. So anyway, that's all. I copied the call sign that the net control told me to send it to, but it was too fast for me. I didn't write it down fast enough, so I'm going to send it back to net control. This is November 6th, Lima Alpha Whiskey, Larry and Twain Hart, 73.
Okay, Larry, 73 to you as well. It goes over to WA6JBD, Julia Bravo Delta, and then back to me.
All right, very good. Good evening, everybody. This is WA6 Julia Bravo Delta, now in Upland, California, and running a 32 S3 and a 75 S3B to the venerable Dentron DTR 1200L with about 800 watts out tonight. And I didn't have a whole lot to say. I've just been listening in the background here, waiting for the conditions to improve enough that I can actually hear people. Dennis is 20 over S9 as usual, and Max, you're about the same. And Skipper's out there half decent. Everybody else I could just barely detect that they were in there, so the conditions aren't fantastic yet. And well, I'm sitting here. I think it's 22 days before I pull the plug and retire, so I'm still excited about that. Took the week off here. This is my last Friday of my last official week of vacation, and then I'll be a professional layabout, getting paid to do nothing. Looking forward to that. And I heard, listening and you guys talking about the LA smog. I grew up in LA in the 60s and 70s, and I remember the smog as well. We had a pool, and the combination of the chlorine in the pool and the heavy smog would just play absolute hell with our lungs, and it hurt to breathe. And I'm glad those days are long gone. It hasn't been like that in ages. But that reminded me of one particularly interesting event. When I was in high school, me and my high school buddies, we hung around the airport and played with airplanes. And a few of us had our pilot's licenses, and that's kind of what we did. That was the trouble we got into, was doing things like loading airplanes up with popcorn and dumping them on the schools and stuff. But we were in the airport office one day on a very smoggy day. It was almost too smoggy to fly. And an out-of-town pilot came in to check out an airplane and was talking with the airport folks there, and they were having trouble convincing them that just 5 miles north of the airport was a mountain range and to stay away from it. You couldn't see it. There was absolutely no sign that there was any mountains up there. The visibility was so bad, and they just kind of, I just remember the emphatic, urging of him to look at the sectional charts and be aware of your surroundings, because it's there. You just can't see it. So that's all I'm going to comment about LA smog. That's all I got. Back to you, Max, KJ6HN, and the Collins group. This is WA6JBD, Mellon Upland.
Okay, Mel, good copy, good transmission, and on the last 4 stations as well, good copy, good transmission. Let's see. Yeah, good story about the airplanes and flying your model planes there, and also comment on your soon-to-be upcoming retirement. Oh my goodness! I retired from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power April 1st, 2017, and it has been absolutely wonderful. The pension gives me money that I don't have to work for. like you've made a comment on, and my deferred compensation, same deal, and it's just been wonderful. So when I talk, sometimes I go back to my old coworkers at DWP, and we engage in conversation, and I tell them, they know I'm retired, and I tell them, you too will soon be retired one day, and it makes them smile at least, and I like to make people smile. So anyway, good luck with your retirement plan, whatever it may be, and I'll take one more call to see if anybody else wants to check in to the CCA net on Friday night. Give me a call, KJ6HN. Well, nothing hurt, so I'm going to pull the curtains closed. It's 7:41, maybe a little early, maybe not early enough, but making a command decision, I'm going to pull the curtains closed on this Friday night edition of the CCA West Coast CCA net. So thanks everybody for chiming in, and we had a good time, and we'll get together again next Friday for the CCA net. And so 73 everybody. This is KJ6HN Max in Darwin, California. Good night.